There once lived a boy named Mackenzie McGee, who wanted nothing more than to live as a tree. A mighty and sturdy and towering giant, enormous and lumbering, strong and defiant. He pined for the feeling of bark for his skin, a head full of foliage and timber within. Regardless of where his obsession began, home wasn't the place for enacting his plan. So he snuck out one day and went into the woods and stayed perfectly still, as aspiring trees should.
Before I've got acorns or syrup or fruit, I must spread my toes and establish my roots. I'll soak up the water that sits in the ground. Then I'll stand nice and still, and I won't make a sound.
To be a tree, though, one must first choose a type.
My tree,
McGee thought,
has got to be just right. I might be a maple, or perhaps I'm a pine. A cedar or birch will be perfectly fine.
And then a thought struck young Mackenzie McGee.
I'm an oak,
He decided, deciduously. Majestic and solid with thick, winding limbs, perfect for climbing or tree forts or swings. He thought of the birds who might nest in his branches, the robins and ravens and even nuthatches.
Red-headed woodpeckers will peck at my cheeks and pull out all sorts of strange bugs with their beaks. Then weird things will grow at the base of my trunk, like lichens and mosses and all of that junk. And then when I'm old and I've got many rings, some men will bring axes and other sharp things. They'll hack and they'll chop and they'll make loads of sound, but sooner or later I'm bound to fall down.
With a grin on his face, he considered the number of things they might do with his strong McGee lumber.
I might be a door, or the frame of a house, or maybe the base of a trap for a mouse. I might be the post of a sign that says stop, or a bench, or 3 logs with a seagull on top. I could be a shelf, or a box for cigars, or a spoon, or a troubadour's trusty guitar. I might be a pipe, or a set of wood mallets, or a DIY sofa that's made out of pallets. A cuckoo clock whirring with wooden components, or maybe the chips that get pooped on by rodents. A fence or some pencils, a chair or a cradle, a yoke for some oxen, or clogs or a ladle. A crate full of firewood, a barrel of broomsticks, a dozen canoes, or 6 billion toothpicks.
His thoughts rambled on while the sun was descending, and McGee came to see that the daytime was ending. He shivered just then as a cool evening breeze rustled and tousled his head full of leaves. His heart skipped a beat when he noticed the chorus of creaking and groaning that came from the forest. He felt the wind howl and heard a twig snap. He trembled and shuddered and started to sap. He realized then, with goosebumps on his bark, that one can't be a tree if afraid of the dark. So he pulled up his roots in an act of defeat, and he hurried along on his homeward retreat.
I can't be a tree after all,
He concluded. The solemn lament of a sapling uprooted. He awoke the next morning at dawn's first light and recalled the events of the previous night. But rather than feeling denial or grief, Mackenzie turned over a hopeful new leaf. With conviction, he proudly decided that day to move on with his life. In his own sort of way.